Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Got Gator Unleashed coming at you here. Today is April the 8th, 2022. Oh, back on this self-defense series I've been doing, choosing your weapon. Um, if you are, if this is something you have recently begun to consider, if you've never owned a firearm or if you haven't had a firearm in a long time or whatever the case might be, buddy, there's a lot of choices to choose from out there. Um, and these firearm manufacturers, the gun industry has actually grown a lot over the last few years. And Glock is a prime example of that, really. My last video I touched on, my next video upcoming was going to be the Glock 45. So and here it is, and I showed it the last time. This gun is unloaded. You can see, you can look right through there and see my beautiful face on this Saturday morning. But Glock, when they went in business, and I don't know the specifics and things of when all this was, it doesn't matter for the purpose of my video. But Glock's been around for, well, let's see, probably over 30 years, 35, 40 years now, something like that. And like everything else back then, it was a basic, simple situation that they was trying to make and sell guns. And Glock is a gun that caught on with people. A lot of people like these Glocks. I like these Glocks. But they came out with a Glock 17, and I don't know that was the first. I know that was one of the first. That was their full-size pistol. And then I guess people complained around that it was big and they wanted something smaller, so they come out with a 26. These are 9mm calibers I'm talking about. They also had 40 calibers, such as a 22 and a 27. That was the 40s in full size and the smaller version. And the gun market has grown and grown. And I've touched on my videos before about how carrying a pistol, the most important thing above all else, nothing even comes close to this one factor, and that is comfort. How easily you can carry that firearm. That is the number one goal. And if you don't understand that, you haven't carried a gun daily. And when you start carrying a gun daily, when you buy one and start carrying it every day, you'll find something about it that annoys you carrying it. You'll find something that's uncomfortable. It's too heavy. It's there's always something. So gun manufacturers started making all these different sizes of guns. So then Glock come out with a 19, which is another 9mm. I think it's considered a full-size pistol. It was at the time, but it was a hair smaller than the Glock 17. Oh, then they decided that the 26 was too wide, which at the time was the small Glock. So they come out with a Glock 43, a thinner. And I think that is a perfect expression of what I try to get across to people in my videos, is that it's all about comfort, and you're always going to be searching. So do all the research you can before you spend your money, unless you're just blessed and got a lot of money and you can buy more than one gun. If your budget allows that, then that makes your life easier, just like everything else does if you got money. But the 45, that's what this video is about. This 45 it's like all other Glocks. I'm not going to go into a lot of my videos aren't gun reviews, but they do touch on the guns, certainly, as far as quality and things of that nature. Glock 45, it's going to work for you. It's not going to have any misfires. It's not going to have any. It's not going to have any kind of problems. You do need to make sure you have good quality ammo, and excellent chance you're going to have that if you buy new ammo. I mean, ammo's come a long way, I think. You want to research things. You want to go to the range. I always mention, if you can go to some range that rents pistols and find something that you just fall in love with, then you've hit the jackpot. You can buy that, and you're going to like it at least for a while. But then you're going to critique it and find something and see another gun you like. That's kind of what happens with these gun owners when you decide to start packing a firearm. The 45, we've established that this is certainly clear. I normally don't like to dry fire these. And people do. People says it don't hurt them. And they might be right. I don't know that it does hurt them, but I still just don't feel comfortable snapping these. Um, a lot of times I'll take a pencil, slip in the barrel, let the eraser sit against the firing pin. You know, when you snap, let the fire pin hit that, or the striker. That's just me. That doesn't mean that's right, but if you don't feel comfortable dry firing your pistol, then that might be something that you can do. Always check and triple check and make sure this firearm is unloaded before you start cleaning, before you start trying to show it to somebody. Every single time you touch it, make sure it's unloaded, unless you are carrying it on your side with the intention of using it to defend yourself if you have to. And then you want it to fire, obviously. All simple, all basic stuff. That's all I do. I keep it real and I keep it simple. Basic simplicity. Oh. But the 45 is a 19 slide. Remember I told you the 19 was the smaller Glock they come out with, 9mm. Then the full size. Not the smallest, but just simply a smaller one, because evidently people were saying the Glock 17 was kind of big. So, but they come out with a 19. Now they've come out with this 45, and this has been out for several years now. It's 19 slide, but it's the 17 frame still. It's still the full-size frame, and it holds 17 rounds in the magazine, 17 plus 1. And I guess this was a continued effort to please everybody, and you can't please everybody. You just cannot do it. You're never going to please everybody. I can understand as a aggressive manufacturer of something that you're selling, trying to fill in every gap. So evidently with the 19, people were saying that 15 rounds wasn't enough. So they decided to come back with the 17 frame and the 19 slide. So they have, this is still smaller than the 17, but it still has the same capacity as the 17. And again, the reason I'm kind of going over all this is because it just expresses perfectly what I say in my previous videos and what I've always said. It's impossible. It's almost, you're constantly struggling to find the perfect firearm to carry. It's just the way it is. And it's always going to be that way. No matter how many firearms they come out with, no matter how many you buy, I think almost everybody is going to see other ones they want to get and carry, and they're going to find a flaw with the one they are carrying after a certain period of time. And I've carried some for years and had really, really very blessed things to say about them. I like a lot of firearms. I have never carried this one. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I bought this. I got a fairly good deal on it. Right now, I think they're cheaper than the 17 and the 19. But this is a good range gun. And this is also a gun that you could carry if you take on a trip. You might load it, put it in your glove box or center console. Can't tell you how to carry your gun. Can't tell you how to defend yourself. There's never been a better time to master your weapon and your right to defend yourself than there is right now. It's kind of hard to get ammo and stuff. There's some things that's been negative in our world. But you need to know all your local gun laws, your state gun laws. I strongly advise anybody to get their concealed carry, even if your state has passed legislation saying you don't have to have paperwork to carry a concealed weapon. I think it's still a great idea to get those papers. You take a class. It just puts the law on your side if something happens, and we all hope nothing happens. All of us that think about this type of thing and that worry about the direction of the country and all these illegals flooding in here and undocumented people, we don't know who they are. And not just them, there's bad people already here. There's just bad people in the world. So people that worry about that stuff and have decided that you're not going to be a victim, there's a lot of stuff that you've got to learn. There's a lot of responsibility. I always touch on one of my fears is over penetration with the ammo you choose. It's very easy to get caught up in ammo that is, see how to say it. These ammos that are badass ammo that go through this, go through that, or that would hit this and mangle it and that and other, this, that, and other. Really, that is in no way what you need in your self-defense carry weapon. In my opinion, you don't want to be, you certainly don't want to be shooting any full metal jacket or anything that's got high penetration in a weapon that you've got on your side out in public. That weapon should be there for your peace of mind, in my opinion. You're certainly got no intentions of firing it anywhere out in public or around anybody or anything. It's only to be fired at a range or somewhere that you've set up that is totally safe, to where there's no way the bullet can hit nobody. Then you can fire these full metal jackets, and that's what they're for, really. I like a good hollow point round. And hollow points are expensive today. Touch on that in every video. Again, I don't mean to be repetitive, but this is the things that go along with choosing your weapon. I also always mention your holster, or however you're going to carry your weapon. That is absolutely top-notch important. It is the most important thing. It's more important than the sights. I mean, you know, I'm not knocking nobody, but I see people do things that I consider to be kind of non-practical. You know, people will go out and give $675 or whatever for a Glock. The first thing they do is change the sights on it, and those are expensive. Those are $150 for a set of sights, night sights. And that's what's consumed their thought process, is getting that Glock and having those cool sights on it. And again, I want to stress that I'm not knocking that. That is all fine and dandy. It's totally your choice. But it's so important that you consider how you're going to carry your weapon. Because if you buy those night sights and spend all your money on sights and flashlights, scopes, whatever, you ain't going to be able to carry your gun. So then when you load up and go out to the movie or the mall or whatever you do, and some psycho comes in there and starts shooting, you're unarmed, because your weapon that was just looks so cool and that is bad as hell at the range, it's not practical to carry. You can't stand it toting it around on your side all day. There's too much shit on it. So consider that if you decide to get into firearms, or if you decide to get into being armed and being able to defend yourself, is how I should say it. You need the pistol. Those sights will work. I promise you, those sights will work. You take this to the range, put some rounds through it. I always say I advise people to go to the range twice a month, every other weekend. Everybody's schedule is different. Everybody is different. Do what you're comfortable with. That works great for me. Whatever gun I'm carrying at the time, and I'll carry a gun for 2 or 3 years, then I'll switch to another one. Sometimes I'll carry one for 3 months and switch. That's just what I've accumulated some pistols over the years, and I constantly go back and forth. But whatever I'm carrying, I always go and put some rounds through it every other weekend. And when I say some rounds, I don't put many. A lot of times, depends on what the magazine holds. Sometimes 14, sometimes 35. And you can unload your gun, and you can do this at the range, or you can do this at your house. You can unload your gun. Please check. Make sure this thing is unloaded. It's just so easy to confirm. I don't care how sure you are that it's unloaded in your mind. If it's been laying somewhere for 4 days and you know it was unloaded when you put it there, don't go pick that up and just remember that you unloaded it and you know it's unloaded. You never know what somebody's done. Pick it up and look and check. Don't just drop the mag. I mean, yeah, you can drop the mag and that helps. I mean, that helps. When you drop that mag, yeah, you ain't got no more bullets in it. But if there's one in the chamber, that's all it takes to kill you or somebody else. So just those most basic, simple things, guys. That's all I'm ever going to be able to provide you, because I'm just a basic, simple guy. But basic, simple, and fundamentals will get you a long way in this life, I promise you. I absolutely promise you. I don't care who you are, where you're sitting in this world, if you're watching this, if you stick to the basic, simple fundamentals and whatever your career, profession, whatever your passion is, you'll be successful. Got to find a weapon that fits your hand. You got to have a holster or a means of carrying this weapon comfortably as possible. And again, size goes into that. The smaller the gun is, the easier it is to carry. And it's always a trade-off. It's always a trade-off. People want 17 rounds. They want 17 rounds, and they want manageable recoil, and they want to be able to stick it in their pocket. You can't have that. You don't get that. You have to choose. If you want to be able to stick it in your pocket, you have to sacrifice all this size. You have to sacrifice the 17 rounds and go down to 6 plus 1. Unless you go with the 380, then you get 7 plus 1. And they'll fit right in your pocket. They're much smaller than a cell phone. It's just that simple. It's a trade-off, one for the other. My point of view is that if you will take whatever you choose, practice with it, train with it, familiarize yourself with it, heaven forbid something happens, you will be able to defend yourself, or you'll certainly have a much better chance. There's things that can happen where you get no chance. There's no guarantees on any situation, nothing, period. But we all just have to do the best that we can. I'd rather be able to fight and never have to than not be able to fight and have to. Just think about stuff like that. And that's about all I've got, I guess. There's nothing else I can share with you about this Glock. It's the same as all other Glocks. There's nothing any different about it. It's just simply the ergonomics of it. It's just simply a new design, a different size. That's it. Everything else, it works exactly the same way. It's going to be ultra reliable. If you go to the gun shop and you see these and like them, if this is, like I said, if you can practice, if you can rent it and shoot it, that'd be great. If not, you're going to be taking a little bit of a gamble no matter what you do, I guess. If it fits your hand good, if you can reach the trigger, that's something else that's important. Really, I mean, it's one of the, maybe the second most important thing. You got to be able to reach the trigger and manipulate your pistol. Makes all the difference in the world. You have to decide if you want an external safety or not. These Glocks don't have them, and I don't know if any new model Glocks have come out with an external safety or not. Again, that's your choice if you want that or not. It's just many things you got to consider, and it's worth the time and effort you put into it, because it could save your life. It could save your wife's life. It could save your husband's life, your kid's life, whoever you are. Let's see. I guess that's about all I've got. This Glock 45, great pistol, super fun at the range. I want to touch on that too. If you can only afford one pistol, and you like to go to the range, then I try to never recommend things to people, because, as I always say, everybody's different. But if you are going to buy only one gun and you want to go, that kind of changes everything also. You may not spend a lot of time out in public. So if that's the case, then you can get away with carrying a bigger gun, because it's going to be for less time. But if you're around all the time, then you're probably going to want to look at something smaller. But if you like to go to the range and shoot and you can only get one gun, then you're probably going to want a bigger gun. A bigger gun shoots better. It's that simple. So if you can only get one gun, I mean, a Glock 45, absolutely, it would be great. It would be a fantastic weapon. It's going to last you. You'll never wear it out. You'll never wear this gun out. If it fits your hand and your budget, and you want a 9mm, you're going to be hard pressed to beat this right here. Going to be hard pressed to beat it. But anyway, just another video to try to get some thought process out there. Going to be coming back at you with more videos here in the upcoming days, weeks. I haven't decided what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to do a shotgun. I think I'm going to do a Mossberg 500 Turkey Thug shotgun as my next video. I'm not going to promise that. I get a little carried away sometimes, go back and forth. But that's what I've got on my mind, sort of. And I think that's going to do this, wrap this video up. Guys, I hope you like, share, and subscribe. Be safe out there. Please stay safe. Please triple check your firearms. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.